So first of all, I want to thank Vaniji and Vasuji, and I bow down to all the divine Atma Jyotis who are here at this presentation. Let's begin our today's session with prayers. You all can join me. You can fold your hands, close your eyes, and you can chant along with me. First, let us begin by chanting Omkara 3 times. Om. 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 Let us offer our respects to the self. Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyakjyotihi, Paratpara, Jyotirjyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atmajyotihi, Shivosmyaham. Let us offer our respects to the Guru. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us offer our respects to the Guru Parampara. Narayana Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I want to offer my gratitude and my respects to my most beloved guides, my dearest friends, and my teachers in this evolution. Sri Acharya Vinay Vinaykarji, who is the founder of SEWAK, Society for Establishing Vishwa as a Kutumba. Sri Narasimha Prabhuji, who is the founder of Atma Jyoti Satsang, Light of the Self Foundation. These two great masters have been serving the humanity now selflessly for more than 3 decades. It is through their selfless actions and their guidance that I'm inspired to offer whatever I'm offering. So today, whatever I'm sharing with you is the wisdom that I have been blessed to receive from these great masters and many others. However, through them, I want to offer my respects to all the teachers who guide us and bless us. Let's begin our today's session with a little story. And this story, most of you may already know, but there's a little twist in the tail, like the tail of this elephant. So you all know, or you may know, the story of the 6 wise but blind men. One day, they all wanted to know how an elephant looks like. Being blind, of course, they cannot see. So each one decided, let us go and touch the elephant and know how the elephant looks like. And you all may know the story. Each one of them was touching different parts of the elephant. For somebody who was touching the nose of the elephant, it felt like a snake that was moving, swinging. Somebody who was touching its leg it felt like a big trunk of a tree. And somebody who was touching the tail felt it is probably like hair. So, like that, each one of them had a different opinion about what an elephant is. Though they were wise, somehow they could not agree on what elephant actually looks like, because each one had a different perception, different opinion about what this elephant truly is. So this is a story most of us know. Now there's a twist in the tale, I told you, right? So now this story continues. This time around, in addition to these 6 wise men, there are 6 wise elephants. But unfortunately, in this story, they are also blind. And now they also decide, let's find out what this man is like. Let's understand what this man is like, how he looks like. So they all decide, okay, let's find out. And the first elephant comes and feels the man and comes back and reports to his 5 other friends, colleagues, whatever you want to call it as. It says, I felt the man, but I feel man is a very flat object, very flat. Oh, really? Then one by one, the other 5 elephants go and feel, and they all come back and they all agree. Yeah, man is very flat. This is the story. All right. So now, 2 distinct ways of perceiving the reality. Now, is the perception of our 6 wise men correct? Or is the perception of our 6 wise elephants correct? Is there something missing in both of their perception? Isn't both of them, you and I, have the eyes to see what is happening, isn't it? We know the 6 blind men were touching different parts of the elephant. Therefore, they did not agree. And the 6 wise blind elephants must have sat on these men, so they all felt like very flat. So you and I can clearly see that both of their perception was incorrect. There was something erroneous in their understanding or recognition of the reality. So this whole story is so comical only because of their errors of perception, errors of recognition, isn't it? So what is the error of recognition of the 6 wise men? So if you look at it, the 6 wise men, because of their blindness, could not recognize the essence. They were touching different parts of the elephant, but somehow they could not perceive the whole, which is the elephant, the essence of the elephant, because they came out with different feeling about what an elephant is. The elephant as an essentially an animal was not recognized by the 6 blind men. Whereas what is the error by the elephants? The 6 wise but blind elephants could not recognize the diversity in the appearance. What did they do? They probably sat and they made it flat, and they all came to the conclusion, men are flat. Men are just flat. All the men are flat. So in a way, both of them do not really have clarity of what the reality is, isn't it? Both of them are having an erroneous recognition. And this whole story is comical because of that. So today, likewise, we are going to explore some more comical errors that we all see in our day-to-day lives. What is the comedy of these errors, and what is the recognition in the error that we all are making or maybe making? All right. So that's the focus of our today's session. So let's take the next step. So let's begin with our Mother Earth. So now I want all of us to, for a moment, zoom out, completely zoom out. Let's, for a moment, go to the space. For a moment, we are all now looking at our Mother Earth from the outer space. You all have heard this beautiful thing about our Mother Earth, right? The astronauts or the cosmonauts who go to the upper atmosphere, they all say that our Mother Earth is the most beautiful sight that they can ever see in their life. They call it the pale blue dot in this dark black sky. For a moment, think about what an immense and a wonderful earth we are on. See, human beings, through our scientific endeavors, have started exploring the outer space. There are so many stars, galactical systems, planetary systems that we have come across. But nowhere are we able to see existence of life as we know here on Mother Earth. And our Mother Earth, like the our own mothers who gave birth to us, who's also called in Sanskrit as Kshamaya Daritri. She is the epitome of forgiveness. What all we do on her, we kick her, we stamp her, we run on her, we pee on her, we poop on her. So many things we do, but she, like a wonderful mother, is always forgiving. Kshamaya Daritri. This Mother Earth is the only place in our known universe where currently there is life. And what a variety of life. It's estimated today. It is not that this estimation is complete. Our scientists only know minuscule of the variety of life that exists. They say it's about 1.75 million different kinds of living beings that they have recognized. Is it complete? No, not really. They don't really know. But this much only they have been able to estimate as of now. So many varieties of insects, plants, fishes, birds, mammals, so many varieties. So this is our own Mother Earth. And when you see from this outside, the pale blue dot, that blue dot, which is the home for all of us. Now, I want to take you on a small game from here. So let's, before we go to the game, let's offer our gratitude. There is this beautiful phrase from the Native American. Native American, like most of the Sanatana Bharata Samskriti, had a deep reverence and a deep connection to Mother Earth. In fact, if you look at it, their very understanding of spiritual nature of Earth is so deep. And this particular phrase, look at it, what it says. It says, let's offer our deep gratitude for all the blessings of the Great Spirit in the form of Mother Earth. The Mother Earth is recognized as one of the form of a great divine being. So let's offer our gratitude also, because without her, today you and I would not be enjoying what we are enjoying. So let's continue. So as I said, I want to take you on a game, right? So today we'll be playing many such games. So this is the first game, the guessing game. So You see, there is this land mass here. Okay, it is taken from again upper atmosphere, maybe from a satellite. So I want you to start guessing what may be this land mass, where it may be. So from the picture, it may not be very apparent. So therefore, I have some clues for you. So there is one person. Now, some of you may be able to recognize this picture and may be able to recognize what is the landmass that I'm showing to you. If you're still not very clear, the next clue that I'm going to give you will definitely give it away, what I'm showing to you. So now I'm sure you must be able to recognize what is the landmass in the left picture that I'm showing to you. Yes, it is the landmass that we generally call as India, Pakistan, and that region. And this person who you're seeing is nothing but one Mr. Cyril Radcliffe. And he was a lawyer by profession. And he was called upon in 1947 when the British were leaving India to do the most infamous partition. And what you see in the rightmost picture are the two red lines that you see are the lines that he drew in what was one great country called Bharata. Two lines were drawn and it was divided into Pakistan, Hindustan, and East Pakistan, what we today call as Bangladesh. So this is the comical error that he made. Comical or maybe tragical. Again, depends upon our viewpoint. But this error, where the Mother Earth do not have a line, he drew that line on a piece of paper and divided a whole country. And you know what the outcome of that division was? I'm sure many of you know, as of today, it is roughly estimated that the bloodshed from that partition till now, it has led to loss of about maybe 200,000 to 2 million lives. This simple problem, what is the problem? What is my country and what is your country? This simple problem and how it was caused? By somebody drawing an imaginary line. Mother Earth do not have that line, but you and I or somebody else in a piece of paper drew this line, which has led to so many wonderful lives being lost. So what is the fundamental error here? The error is my country versus your country. And I like my country, I don't like your country. So this mine and not mine is the fundamental error. I may be calling it as a comedy of error, but for the people who have lost their life or their lives or their livelihood or all their belongings, it may not necessarily look like a comedy. But in a way, it's a comedy because fundamentally it's a error in what I call as mine and not mine. So let's move on. So the impact of this comedy or impact of this tragedy, if you look at it from the world viewpoint, most of the money in the world today is spent on this kind of a protecting what we call as my country or this border. Do you have a guess how much is being spent? Roughly, it is about $2,240 billion. Now, when you read it like that, it may not mean much, 2,240, but just to give you some perspective, what it means. Let's imagine now today, all the world leaders decided that we want to eradicate hunger in the world. There are so many children, millions of children who do not have proper 2 meals a day, leave alone 3 meals. So if, let's say, the world leaders decided to eradicate, you know how much money is needed to eradicate all the hunger in the world? I'm not talking about one particular country, in the world. The estimation is only about $40 billion. Whereas to protect an imaginary line, the world leaders, the countries are spending $2,240 billion. So just to stack them next to each other, if let's say this red line that is appearing is the expenditure on the military, this small yellow line is what is really needed to be able to serve the food to all the needy people. That's all that is needed. Look at the contrast. And what is the source of this problem? The source of the problem is that fundamental error that we saw, which is mine and not mine. So you may not call it as a comedy, you may want to call it as a tragedy of humanity. But anyway, let's move on. Like I said, today there are many games. So I want to take you to the next game. So look at this picture. What this picture may be, just start imagining. It looks like maybe a city that is taken, the photo of which taken from a maybe top of that city, maybe from a drone, or maybe a forest. What it may be, let me show you the next picture to help you. So this left picture and the right picture are related. What may be the relationship? Very easy. This left picture that you're seeing here is picture of a living cell, living human cell under a very powerful electron microscope. This is how a living cell looks like under a very powerful electron microscope. So many things. Look at the wonderful design of this living cell. Living cell is something that you and I cannot even see through our eyes. But this individual living cell, look at the attention to details in that living cell, and so many things that are there. And what you call as a human being is nothing but a huge colony of such living cells. In fact, trillions of them. They say, nobody really knows the number. They say a human body is probably about 100 trillions of such living cells, which is nothing but 100 followed by 12 zeros. So that living cell looks like this, but then when that colony appears, look at how the colony appears. Each one is so distinct, different in the color, height, weight, in the way they look like. So each one is so different. But again, coming from our previous comedy of the error, or our error of recognition, I may be looking at this picture and saying, some people look like my country people, some people look like some other country people, or maybe enemy people, depending upon what perspective I may have in my mind. But all of them are fundamentally same living cell, trillions of them, no difference. But when you look at the outside appearance, there is a difference. Or is there? So this is another fundamental error that most of us make. And the comedy of life is because of this. All the fighting, all the insulting, is because somewhere somebody is different from me, is not like me. So I like some, but I don't like the others. I'm okay if they're wearing one kind of a dress. I'm not okay if they're wearing some other kind of a dress. I'm okay if they speak, if they make some kind of a sound, what I call as my language. I'm not okay if they make some other kind of a sound, what I call as some other language. I'm okay if they eat some kind of a food. I'm not okay if they're eating some other kind of a food. But what is it fundamentally, all of them? All of us are fundamentally, when we look at it like a body, nothing but trillions and trillions of these living cells. A colony, actually, a colony of living cells, which actually none of us really know how they all work together. Fundamentally, at the living cell level, the living cell doesn't really differentiate. But you and I, where is that you and I? We will see as we go further. But you and I may differentiate. The living cell doesn't differentiate, but you and I differentiate. And the living cell also starts then feeling this separation. This is another source of all sorts of comical errors in our life. Not recognizing as a body that from where is this body coming? From the Mother Earth. How? Let's look at that. But before we look at it, let's look at another wonderful comedy of errors that we do based on these bodies. So there was this wonderful movie called Angur, which is actually based on Shakespeare's drama called as Comedy of Errors. So this Comedy of Errors is a nice movie. You know who the characters are in this movie? I'm not talking about the film actors. These actors, I'm sure all of you may know, the great Sanjeev Kumar and Devan Verma. But there was this character called as Ashok. And guess what is the next one called as? He was also Ashok. And then the other character, this character was called as Bahadur. And by now, I'm sure you'll be guessing, this character is also Bahadur. So there are two Ashoks, two Bahadurs. They happen to be twins, born at the same time, but separated at birth time. Great Bollywood approach, right? So one Ashok and one Bahadur are in one city. Another Ashok and another Bahadur are in another city. Now, one of the Ashok and Bahadur are married, not to the same, but to different women. So one Ashok is married to this character called as Sudha, Mausami Chatterjee, and the other Bahadur is married to this Aruna Irani, Prema. And this Tanu is the sister of this Sudha. So there are other characters, but the central aspect of the movie is around these 7 characters. 4 of them share same names, and the other 3 share different names. And the whole movie is all about when one Ashok and Bahadur who are not married, from their city, they come into another city where this Ashok and Bahadur who are married are living, and they have brought some money to do some deal. And there's a whole comical situations that unfold in that movie because they get mixed up. So this Ashok and Bahadur who are not married somehow end up in the house of this Sudha, Tanu and Prema, who think they're talking to their own husbands and Jijaji. So there's a whole lot of comical situations that happen in the movie. Of course, in that movie, they cry, but you and I watching the movie have no problem watching that because you and I know that this is a error. And what is the error? Because this lady Sudha is not able to recognize her own husband. She's dealing with another Ashok, thinking she's dealing with her Ashok. So, unfortunately, this Ashok, who's not married, doesn't enjoy that. He's feeling very awkward. This Bahadur is also feeling very awkward. But this Sudha is unable to understand. So each one is having their own problem, their own anxiety, their own crying. Why? Because they don't know who they're dealing with. They think it is somebody who belongs to me, and the other person thinks I'm dealing with somebody who I don't know who they are. Why is this lady acting with me as if I'm her husband? Is what this Ashok is feeling. So again, what is the fundamental problem that is happening? Mine and not mine. So there is some kind of a mine and not mine. My husband, but for that Ashok, not my wife. So this movie, all of you should watch this movie. So this movie is comical as well as highly spiritual at the same time. Because fundamentally, when you look at life, in fact, life is nothing but both spiritual and comical at the same time. Because when we start looking at this error that all of us are making in our own judgment, we have to do nothing but laugh at our own errors. There is a place called Nimhans in Bangalore, where we go and lock up few people. And if you ask, why are you locking up? They say they're mad people. They don't know anything about life. They don't know how to recognize life. You usually make wrong judgments about life. But I wonder sometimes whether they need to be locked up or whether all of us are in this so-called Nimhans, which is just outside of that building called Nimhans. So what's happening? We also have a similar error in judgment about recognizing mine and others. So let's continue guessing game. So this guessing game must be relatively easy. So I want you to start guessing, what is this I'm showing in the picture? What is this thing and what is this thing? Maybe you may be able to see something that you know. Maybe it looks like a carrot and maybe it looks like an eye. Why am I showing this? What is this for? So most of you, when you're growing up, especially if you did not eat a vegetable, I'm sure your mother or somebody would have told you, eat, this is very good. Carrots are good for your eyes. Isn't it? I'm sure most of you would have heard. Just for the moment, forget what they've said. Just look at how it looks like design-wise. Look at the design. Somehow, in the nature, it is having a very similar design. I don't really know whether carrot really is useful for the eyes, but when you look at this design, it looks quite similar. Somehow it seems to be magical, isn't it? So likewise, when you go a little more deeper, if you really think about what is this next picture, it looks like a man, but it is full of vegetables. And now, what is the connection to the last picture here? There is somebody who is not able to look at mirror. What is the connection between all these three? What's happening? Very simple. Most of us have some or the other like and dislike of our own body. So we saw that we have a like and dislike towards my country, other country. Then we have some kind of a like and dislike towards others and mine. But when you go a little more deeper, similarly, we have a like and dislike towards our own body. Oh, I love my nose, but I simply don't like my ears. I wish my ears was like we pick somebody, usually we pick some hero or heroine. I wish, I had the physique of some hero. I wish I was slender like that heroine. I wish, everybody looked at me and they said my eyes are like that. So like that, we have a certain like and dislike. But when you notice a little carefully, from where are these body parts coming? How is your body part coming? In the womb of your mother, from a single cell, this entire trillions of cells have come. How did these cells grow? What is the source of this growth? I'm sure all of us know the source of the growth is nothing but the food that you and I eat, isn't it? So, what is the nature of the food that we eat that goes into our body and that starts getting assimilated? And that is how the body grows. Till a certain age, it grows and then it starts decaying, isn't it? So, like that, when you look at your own body, your body is nothing but a collection of cells which are growing from where? From the food you are eating. So, the food is coming from the Mother Earth, and there is no distinction. But when it has become your body part, you may have a I like it and I don't like it. I like my eyes, but don't like my nose. I like my hands, but not my tummy. So, this is another comedy in our life, isn't it? What is the comedy? The source is the same, and from where it is coming is the same, and at the fundamental cellular level, it's the same. But when it becomes a part, you and I have a like and a dislike. I like some parts, I don't like other parts. So far, it was with others, other country, other people. Now, it's with my own body. I like some, I don't like some. This is another major source, isn't it, of our error. All our tensions in the life, let's look at this particular tension, what it does to us. This I like some part, I don't like some part. So all of us know, we Indians who generally are in the Indian subcontinent generally have a fairly brownish complexion. Why? Because the Mother Nature has designed us to be like that so that it is protective. Because the sun shines more here, so the melanin gets generated. So the skin naturally, for your own body's protection, is brownish in complexion. But what do we say? No, 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 no. I don't like this. So there's a whole industry. There's a whole big industry which, first of all, advertises to you. Do you also want to look like some heroine comes? In one frame, she's looking very brownish. And she says, oh, I'm so sad. I don't want to go to that office. And when people look at me, they laugh at me. And another friend asks, why? Oh, because I'm so brown. I am so dull. Then that another friend gives advice, wonderful advice. All you need is what you know. Ta-da! Fair and Lovely, which now, by the way, they're renaming it as Glow and Lovely. Maybe somebody gave them some information that, fairness is no more going to sell. Now sell on glowness, whatever. So anyway, now Fair and Lovely. And what most of us do? We take and kgs of that we keep on applying, isn't it? And every day we keep on measuring against that skin tone. They also give you a skin tone measurement. We keep on looking at it. Have I become fair? Have I become fair? Have I become fair? What a comical behavior, isn't it? Now, is this only with women? I may be showing the Fair and Lovely because generally that is positioned for women. Is it only with women? No, 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 no. These days, even men are caught up in this. They have Fair and Handsome for men. So they brainwashed all the women, Fair and Lovely. Now the men are also being brainwashed. You have to be fair and handsome. My God, this, from where it is coming? Because I don't like something in me. Some part I don't like. Something else I like. I don't like this color. I don't like this nose. I don't like this hand. Something or the other. And this, now I want to show you one picture. And I don't think I have to explain any further. If this is what you see in life, won't you say this is really a made up thing? Have you ever seen something like this? A moo beauty parlor? Is there a moo beauty parlor in life? Have you ever heard two cows talking to each other? This lipstick will make you look very nice. This cream will make you look very fair and lovely. Have you ever heard like that? Have you seen these cows going to a beauty parlor? No. But we humans have gotten into this error of, I don't like, I like. And what I don't like, somehow I have to fix it. But nature is not like that. In nature, things are wonderful as they are. None of the cow ever speaks in the language that you and I speak, the humans, isn't it? So, the fundamental error in my body, I don't like some parts. So, let's move on. So, there is this wonderful story. So, an old man comes to a doctor and he says, "Oh, doctor, I think God must be very pleased with me. Because of all the good work I've done, God must be very pleased." And the doctor asks, "How come?" You know what? Every day night, usually, I have to get up for going to the bathroom to pee. And somehow, every day night, I don't know how, but magically, the light always opens when I go to the bathroom. I don't have to do anything. And it is also so cool. This place, even though it is so hot, it is so cool, so nice. I am really, really must be becoming very, very close to God. The doctor does not give him any advice, doesn't tell anything. He just listens to him because he knows that, he's becoming very old. And the next day, his wife is coming and she has a better memory. She is very sharp. So the doctor next day to his wife says, "Look, this is what your husband was telling, that, God has become very kind and is turning on the lights. Is it truly happening?" The doctor also doesn't know and he cannot deny, right? So is it truly happening? And the wife says, now I caught the scoundrel who's every day night coming and peeing in my refrigerator. Do you see what's happening? So this old fellow is thinking he's going to the bathroom. All along, he's going and peeing in the refrigerator. So what's happening here? He's becoming forgetful. That is for sure, isn't it? He doesn't know where he is. He's becoming forgetful. Likewise, the next set of errors are all because of you and I forgetting our own powers, our own inherent powers, inherent divine powers. So let's explore them. Again, a guessing game. So this must be very easy. Some of you may be saying, looking at this question, "Oh, I'm a commerce student, I'm an arts student, don't ask me this question." But still, I'm sure all of us would have studied in our primary or high school, right? Till high school, usually all of us would have studied the same subject. So who is the greatest scientist you know? For a moment, I'll give you a moment. Okay, so just start thinking. Who is the greatest scientist? So think of all the greatest scientists: Albert Einstein, Newton, Varahamihira, Aryabhatta, Kanada. So think, who's the greatest scientist you know? For a moment you think, all right? Because I'm going to give you an answer, all right? So you all maybe You all may be thinking, based on how I gave you the question and some of the suggestions, may be thinking of all these people, right? But the greatest scientist? It is actually you. You are the greatest scientist. Now you may be thinking, like that old man, I also must have lost it, right? No. Let me tell you why. Why? You are the greatest scientist ever. Greatest means what? Ever. You are the greatest scientist. Okay. So now, first of all, let's look at what is the quality of a great scientist, right? What are the qualities? What do we call as what are the qualities a great scientist should possess? Let's look at it. First, observation. A great scientist has very keen observation about life, can see around, and has the ability to put questions. Apparently, apples were falling all along, but apparently it was Newton who asked the question, why the hell these apples are falling, right? So, like that, a great scientist has the ability to put a right question. And hypothesis. Hypothesis means what? Is able to think of why it may be happening so. A great scientist has the ability to put a hypothesis. Oh, apple may be falling because maybe somebody is sitting on the tree and cutting and throwing it down. One hypothesis possible. Or like that, think of different ways by which this may be happening and how it may be happening. Then a great scientist should be able to experiment. Which of these hypotheses is correct? Is it there? Is it truly that somebody is sitting there? And then analyze all this data and come to a conclusion, isn't it? That is how all the scientific principles are made. This is one who goes through this cycle is who we call as a scientist. But now, for a moment, these are the qualities of a great scientist, right? And I said, you are the greatest scientist. How? You may ask me, right? So for that, I want all of you to go back to your childhood. For a moment, go all the way back to when you were a little baby. For the moment, maybe imagine, you are a 3-month or a 4-month or a 5-month, 6-month, little baby. For a moment, around the little baby, imagine what's happening. Around a little baby, some people are coming and making some sounds. For the people, it may be they are talking, right? So, for example, the mother may come and say, Ayo Kanda, Ayo Muddu, Allo Chenna, Esh Chenagidyallo, Rajumari, Nan Bangaru. Like that, mother may be speaking. Nin Esrenu Gutta. So, the mother may be speaking all this. But for the baby, what is it? Simply sounds, isn't it? Why? Because the baby doesn't yet know the language. Simply sounds. Blah, 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 blah. If I keep speaking, if I keep making blah, 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 how does it sound to you? That's all it is for that baby. Is it only the blah, 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 blah that is coming to the baby? No. Even some other people come. They also make some other blah, 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 blah. Somebody may be speaking in Kannada, somebody may be speaking in Tamil, somebody in Hindi, Urdu, English, Chinese, whatever, depending upon where that baby is. Some sounds from the humans. And then there are sounds from the birds, animals, and various machines. So all these sounds. But now, ask this question. One day, this baby, it speaks to this person who is making some sounds. Let's imagine the person who's making the sound is mother, and that baby says, Amma, or something like that. Or something that sounds like Amma to this mother. Now this mother becomes so crazy happy, isn't it? And she calls everybody, look, 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 my baby spoke to me. And she calls me Amma, first one. Now the appa gets very jealous. You call me appa. So like that, they get into wanting the baby to make the sound, isn't it? But for a moment, look at this great scientist. Look at you as a baby. What was coming to you? Only sounds, blah, 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 blah. From these sounds, somebody figured out what this sound means and who this person who's making the sound and what is the sound I should be making to this person, to this face. Isn't that the most noble-worthy scientific work? Doesn't it have all the qualities that you're seeing here? Keen observation, keen questioning, keen hypothesis, keen experimentation, analysis, conclusion. See, when it makes that sound, this face here glows. So now the baby knows, aha, if I make amma, this face glows. Appa, that face glows. Till now, it had to cry for food. Now it says, ha, uta. Now see, the baby gets food. So see, the baby has figured out remote control. Make a sound and things come to it. What a great scientific mind it must be, isn't it? So now, can you see? You are a natural scientist. You are born with this power. Keen sense of observation. Complete awareness. The ability to experiment. These are ingrained, inborn. It is not like it was taught. Nobody taught you the language. You figured out. And please look at it. It's the most complex feat. Most animals cannot speak like you or anybody or any other humans. But look at you. So you must be a great natural scientist, no? What other qualities you have? As a great scientist, you have this great capacity to play. And through play, you have this great capacity, while having fun, while playing, you have this great capacity to figure out things. Isn't it how you learned anything that you learned in your life, especially as a child? What were you doing? You were simply playing. Everything was a play. And in that play, you also figured out things. You know about the flowers, you know about the honeybee, you know about the water, you know about the hunger, you know about sadness, you know about laughing, you know about food, everything. You learned through play. Khel mein ho gaya. And you were having a lot of fun, weren't you? So a great scientist enjoys. So you have the quality of a great scientist. And another excellent quality of a great scientist. I want to play this video and then I want to tell you about that. But before that, let me mute myself in that tab so that it doesn't echo. Just give me a moment, please.
I don't want to eat them ever again.
Oh, do you think so? What will you eat instead?
I will eat whatever there's on the table, but not chicken or meat.
Why do you think Why do you think you don't want to do that?
Because they're animals and I like animals.
So what will we do if we miss eating chicken and meat?
I don't miss eating chicken and meat.
How about fish?
Fish?
Yeah.
Fish? Is it an animal?
Yeah.
I won't eat that either.
Oh my God. So what?
I won't eat animals.
Okay. So what do you want to eat? What kind of food do you want to eat?
Anything's on the table, but not animals.
Why do you feel sorry for animals?
Because they're nice, and I know that we cook them sometimes, which is not very nice. And I know we like to eat animals that we cook, but that's not nice for them.
Yeah. Do you think they suffer?
I think that they don't really like being cooked in the oven.
So you see, nobody taught this little child. Nobody taught you about compassion or love. You naturally have it. You feel it. Any child knows it. And that is innate in you. Very natural. It is not something that somebody has to come and teach you. So this greatest scientist has the greatest curiosity power, observational power, has the greatest power to be kind, to be compassionate, to be loving. This
They don't.
this power, when you forget, as you start growing up as an adult, what may happen, depending upon various situations of life, depending upon various kinds of stories that come into your mind, various kinds of impressions that life gives you, various such feelings may arise: confusion, sadness, depression, low in energy, anger, irritation, revenge. A nice and a wonderful and a divine and a greatest scientist gets into this entire, I like some of the thoughts I have, I don't like some of the thoughts. So again, this error, this whole worry, anxiety, tension is simply because a great scientist now has become a great Sai. Ayo, Rama, why this life? This great scientist. For everything, there is a Ayo, no, not again. Why my life is like this? A Sai for everything. A scientist has become a scientist. And how? Just because of this error. What error? That whatever I've gathered in my mind is who I am. Whatever I've gathered, I have become the content of my mind. So I like some of the content, I don't like other content. So I've become my mind, content of my mind. Where is this idea called as mind, like my nation and other nation? In the mind, as a thought. Where is this idea? Other bodies and my body? In the mind, as a thought. Where is this some part, other parts of my body? In the mind. So fundamentally, in my mind, everything is now, I like some, I don't like others. And because of this division, this error, that, okay, whatever I've gathered, it's like I'm wearing a shirt. Am I the shirt? No. For the time being, I'm wearing. So I've become the shirt. I've become the content of my mind. So the fundamental source of all this comedy in life. So now, therefore, let's go to the last guessing game. So how do we come out of this then? And this, I'm pretty sure all of you will guess, even me without having to tell. Who are you seeing in this picture? I'm 100% confident all of you know none other than the king Dhritarashtra. What is he doing in our comedy of errors? Because he is the king of these comedies. You know why? Our great Vyasa Maharshi called him Dhritarashtra for a reason. Like that blind, physically blind king, whose inner quality is also blindness. What kind of a blindness? He is firmly fixed in his ideas. The word Dhrita Rashtra means that. Rashtra means a nation, a boundary. We saw in the earlier picture, Mother Earth doesn't have a boundary, but you and I, as humans, we have drawn the boundary. Where in our own mind, my country, your country, my body, your body, my thoughts, your thoughts, like this, don't like this, all of them have become boundaries in our mind. And we, you and I, are, when we are firmly holding on to this is right, my idea is right, you are wrong. This firm connection, this holding on to this is who a Dhritarashtra is. So, by giving this blind king as an analogy to our own blindness, to our own perception error, erroneous recognition of the idea that I hold in my mind is who I am, is the fundamental source of all our misery in life, tension in life, worry in life. So then how do we come out of it? So the simple way is therefore to recognize your true self. There was this beggar who used to sit in front of a temple and beg. And one day, the prime minister of that country, when he was passing by, he saw that. And he came to him and he opened his right arm shirt and he saw something and he said, "Oh, prince, please come." This beggar was confused. Why is he calling me a prince? He took him to the palace, bathed him, and put all the king dress and narrated. Many years back, there was a prince, you were very young, and the other king attacked this country, and to protect you, your father, he sent you away with some people, and somehow we lost track. And today, thank God, I found you. And my prince, I've been waiting to hand over this kingdom to you. You are the heir to this kingdom. You are the true king. Please protect us from now on. So, like that, you and I have to realize the kingdom within. Find the kingdom within. How to find the kingdom within? Very simple. Through a divine journey. This one single word, divine, is the answer to our entire whatever we need to do. So, when we do not understand this D, what remains in that divine? It's only I wine. What is I wine? It's like I am crying, I am whining, and I am drinking, right? This wine. Wine means what? This alcohol. What kind of alcohol? The alcohol of this world. This error in this perception, error in this recognition, error in recognizing the fundamental reality of the things in life, error in perception, error in recognizing fundamental reality of who I am. So I'm so caught up in this world. So Maya, Madira, Pita, drunk with this world of Maya. So then what happens? I'm only whining. I whine, I cry. So what is the way out? So Get the D into the divine, into that word, D. What is this D? What is this D or D? This is nothing but the right understanding of life, right understanding of reality. And what is that? It is given by the two Mahavakyas. Tattvatamasi. You are that. You are that divine awareness. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. All that is that divine awareness only, that God only. There is nothing else apart from that. Advaita. No two. There are no two. There is that divine only. This has to be realized. It is not a mere statement. It has to be realized. When it is realized, you become a Dhimanta, Pragnavanta, the divine. And that is the Nataraja, the analogy of the Nataraja, the dance and the dancer. So the dance is by that divine dancer. The world is the dance, and that divine, that consciousness is the dancer. And they are not two. They are not two. Life is the dance of the divine. This divine journey alone can help us. That is why Sri Ramana Maharshi gives us this statement. What you call as mind? What is mind? When you and I ask that question, what is mind? Mind is simply nothing but collection of some thoughts. We saw what kind of thoughts we have. My country, your country, my relatives, your relatives, my husband, my children, my possessions. I like this, I don't like this. All of this, a big market of all this collection, where we also use this collection to think, to look into the future. This is what we generally call as mind, isn't it? So Ramana Maharshi is giving us the right understanding. What is mind? Is nothing but that awareness only, that within you which knows. In that little baby example that we saw, who learned the language? If you ask that question, is it the eye that learned the language, the ear, the tongue, the speaking instruments? Who is the source of learning? Who knows? Who says when you are seeing something, I know, I get it. I see it. So who is that? That knowing principle is who you truly are. However, by superimposing yourself on the content of your mind, like for example, there is a drama happening, there is light in the drama stage, and the light is what makes the characters in the drama see. But if you get confused and say that the characters is what enabled the drama to happen, wouldn't you and I be foolish? Without the light, can the drama truly happen? So, like that, you are that light of awareness. But by taking or superimposing yourself to the content of your mind, you feel you become limited. What a error in recognition. Your fundamental nature, your true nature is unlimited and perfect. There is no blemish. But just because you've assumed various content of your mind, you feel you are one of the thought. So by realizing this alone, can we truly become free from this error of perception, from all the comedy that follows this error of perception, this error of recognition. So, my dear Atma Jyotis, what is that we have explored today through the story of the 6 wise men? the blind men, and the 6 blind elephants, we realized their error. What is their error? They did not recognize the essence. Likewise, what is the essence you and I need to recognize? That you and I are not a thing. You and I are this no thing, the essence, the awareness. What is that other error they had? Diverse appearance not recognized. All these forms are not recognized. Likewise, you and I are giving attention to some thoughts in the mind and not to all. So, what are all? All are nothing but that one essence only. Like how you may have different ornaments made from gold, but what all the ornaments are? Gold only. Likewise, this entire world is divine only. This is the fundamental error that you and I are making. And through that, rest of the errors follow. Because of that, mine and not mine comes. My body and your body comes. My thoughts and your thoughts. I like some thoughts, I don't like some thoughts comes. And when I'm caught up in this, I may forget my own divine nature, my own powers, forgetfulness about my own powers. Look at that child who spoke about why she doesn't want to eat the meat. The mother kept on asking, what will you eat? What will you do? The child had fantastic answers. Is it something that somebody taught? And how the child is knowing all that? That same power, that same divine power shines through you, shines through me. We just have to recognize that. And all of this gets corrected only when we correct the fundamental error about who I am, who you truly are. Next Monday is Guru Purnima. I wish and pray to the entire tradition of all the great gurus that may this divine knowledge dawn upon each one of us. May the world become a divine world for each one. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavan. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.